Hey, welcome back to Math Quiz. Hey, today I'm going to show you how to estimate roots. Okay, that means we're going to be estimating square roots, like these right here. These are square roots and cube roots. All right, and then of course show you how it works in a real world scenario. So get your pen and paper ready to take some notes, and let's get to it. So right here, square root of 8. When we square, well, first of all, if you're watching this video, you should already know how to do square roots. If you haven't, please go watch that video first so that you're not lost during this video. So, square roots. Our estimates are always going to be between two, I shouldn't say, I was about to say whole numbers, but it's not always whole numbers. In this case, when they're just like this, yes, they're whole numbers. When they're actually word problems, it's actually going to be, more than likely, they're going to give you some decimals. So let's take a look at these simple ones right here. The square root of 8. Well, I know that if I take this square root, let me get a pencil here. If I take the square root of 8, it's going to give me a decimal. Some long drawn out decimal. So what I want to find is the two perfect squares that are below and above it. So basically I go through my squares, like 2 times 2. Well, I know that's 4. 3 times 3, that's 9. Notice when I say 9, I already went past 8. So therefore, the square root here of 9 is 3, right? And then the square root here of, what do we say? It was 4 is 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. So that means that the square root of 8 is in between 2 and 3. The square root of 8 is in between 2 and 3. Okay, now I still don't have my answer. Where is it? What is it closer to? Is it going to be closer to my 3 or is it going to be closer to my 2? Well, I will need to take the square root of 8. And yes, you can use a calculator. In fact, I think I have one here. So let's take a look here. And let's take the square root of 8. And that's going to give us 2.8. So notice that our answer here is going to be past this point, which is our 2.5. Because if it's in between here and here, I'm going to choose the higher number. If it's between here and here, I'm going to use the lower number, in this case, which would be 2. Since our answer, what was the calculator? Our answer is 2.8 approximately. That means it's around here somewhere, right? Right around there. So therefore, it's closer to my 3. So my answer here would be 3. And I'm done. I've approximated the square root of 8. Isn't that simple enough? Let's go ahead and try another one. So now on this one, it's pretty much the same thing. Feel free to pause the video and give it a shot. I'm assuming you're back. So let's do it. So I go through my perfect squares again. 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. I'm getting closer to 83 now. 9 times 9 is 81. Okay. So let's make a mark here. Excuse me. Let's come on. Sometimes computers don't want to cooperate with me. Right here, we'll say that we're looking at, what did I say, 9? Because, okay, what happened there? 9. Because the square root of 81 is 9. And right here would be 10, because that's the next highest one after 9. And that would be 10. I messed that up, didn't I? That's the square root of 100. So I'm saying 10 and I'm writing 100. Why? Because I'm always thinking ahead. You would think I would be a good chess player. All right. So here we have the square root of 100 is 10. The square root of 81 is 9. Which one is the square root of 83 closest to? Well, what is the square root of 83? So let's take a look here. Square root 83, and we have 9.1. So that's 9. So it's really right around here, right? So it's closer to 9. My answer in this case would be the square root of 83 is approximately 9. It's equal to 9. My approximation is equal to 9. Okay? That's all we have to do. Let's take a look at a cube root now. All right, cube root. As we look at this one, now remember cube roots. What number times itself? So for example, let's do a quick example, a little refresher. So if I was talking about the cube root of 8, well, what number times itself 3 times would equal 8? That would be 2, because 2 times 2 times 2, oops, equals 8. So my answer in this case is 2. So basically, what number times itself 3 times equals the number inside my radical. Okay, so we got 320. To save time, I already put the cube root of 216 here and the cube root of 343, which is, oops, something's failing me with these pencils. 6 and 7. So that means 6 cubed is 216, and the cube root of 216 is 6, right? So 320, the cube root of 320 lives between both of these numbers. Well, which one is it? Well, let's take a look here again on our calculator. The cube root, oh, I can't do the cube root here. Well, actually I can. I think I need to go into the menu, and that's going to take me a lot of time, so I don't want to figure that out. I wonder if I can do this. Here, we're going to play live with the calculator. Can I just type in a 3 and then do this and then do, let's see if it works, all right? Because why not? Look at that. It doesn't work. Okay, so since it doesn't work, let's take a look here. I think I did it here earlier, and the cube root of 320 is, looks like about 6.8. Now remember, here, when I'm working with these, my halfway point here, 6.5. If my answer falls in here, then my answer would be 6. If my answer falls in here, then my answer would be 7. And in this case, it's about 6.8, so 6.5. Well, actually, right here will be about 6.75. So we already know 6.8 is somewhere around there. So therefore, my answer would be about 7. All right, 7 would be the answer for this estimation of the cube root of 320. All right, hopefully you have the hang of it by now. Let's take a look at one last one. Your favorite and mine, the word problems. So Alexandra wants to fence in a square portion of her yard to make a play area for her new goat. She has goats? Which Alexandra would that be? Anyway, getting off task. The area covered 2 square meters. How much fencing should Alexandra buy? Well, let's help her out. So when she goes to Home Depot, she's not messing around and buying extra stuff. Let me put this close to the top here. Okay, that's not good. There we go, somewhere around there. All right, so notice the square root of 2, the square root of 2 equals 2 meters squared, obviously. So how do we estimate this? I'm going to show you how to estimate it, and then how to estimate it even closer. Okay. So for this one, no, I don't really need it, but here we go. The first thing I need to do is get my calculator. There we go. All right, so here's my calculator. What I'm going to do is find the square root of 2. Is what I'm going to do. And that right there is going to give me 1.4 and that long number right there. Okay, but remember, we're estimating. And when we're estimating these kind of numbers, we want to truncate our number. Truncate. Remember that word, truncate, because that you're going to see that word a lot. And truncate. What does it mean to truncate? Well, so truncate basically means to drop off all the numbers after the tens place. You will say, oh, just round to the tens place. No, I didn't say round. We're not gonna round, because that could cause a different one. If this 1 here was a 9, then that would round to 1.5, right? We don't want to round. We just want to drop off the numbers, okay? Drop off. Keep that in mind. So 1.4 is my number. It's the square root of 2. That's what we're going to estimate it to. Now, remember, we're going to fence this part, right? This is the part of the yard that we're going to fence off. So actually what we're looking at is the perimeter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 of these root 2s. So that would be 4 times root 2. But we don't actually write it this way, and I don't want you to write it that way either. I want you to write it like this, 4 root 2. This is what that means. Okay, so we're going to write it in that manner. So the question once again is, where is this? So if I take here, let's put my number line up here, and we're going to take 4 root 2. We want to know in between what two numbers would this land on. Well, simple. Let's pull out our calculator again. We're going to do 4 times, what did we say? 1.4 is right here, 1.4. So 1.4. That's going to give me 5.6. So we know our first number here is 5.6. Well, what would my other number be? Well, since I rounded off to 1.4, remember that root 2 was approximately 1.4. In that case, this is an equal sign. In that case, we want to know what's in between 1.4 and 1.5, right? You want to, oh, but no, Mr. Medina, you're wrong, because the next number wasn't a 5. The next number was a 1. No. Remember, we're looking at this whole number here, and we're saying that 1.4, right? Because that's the tens place, the 1.4. And then if I said 1.5, that means that all these other digits, the 1, 4, 2, 1, and so forth, live in here, right here. 1, 4, 2, 1, They live in the 1.4, 1.5. They live in between those two numbers. That's why I chose the 1.5. Okay, so let's go ahead and punch it into our calculator. So we got 4 times 1.5, and we get 6. So our other number was 6. So this is how I will write my answer, and pay close attention and write it down. 5.6 is less than 4 times root 2, which is also less than 6. Okay, that's how you will write your whole answer. Now, you may have a teacher that may say, well, just give me the two numbers that it's in between. And then in that case, you would say, oh, it's in between 5.6, and write the word and 6. You will write it that way. But because my students are the smartest in the world, we know we're going to write it in this manner, okay? And that sign, it always bothers me when I write these incorrectly. Well, you know, technology. All right, that's how you will write that final answer. Now, how can I even get this estimation to be even closer? Well, simple. Let's take a look at our calculator here. And instead of I almost said rounding. Instead of estimating to the 1.4, we're going to estimate to the 1.41. If I do that, then now what I'm estimating to is 1.4 and 1.5. Remember, because again, if I look at my calculator, yes, I know the next number is not 1.5. I messed that up, didn't I? I think I did. Hold on a second. I was almost about to repeat the same one again because I said 1.4 and 1.5. It's 1.41. I forgot. 1.41. So let's take a look here. Sorry to mess you up there. Have to mess up your notes. That's why you should use pencil. And it's 1.42. Okay, 1.42. So if you look at the answer in the calculator, no, the next number after 1 is not 2, but that's not what I'm getting my numbers from. So in between that 1 and that 4 right there, right, we have the next one, which is 142. So these numbers, I want to see what's in between the 141 and 142. So you can say, oh, so all I really have to do is pick the next digit and then just move up one place value. So if I went and used that on my calculator, it would be 4 times the square root of, whoa, not the square root of, sorry, I'm really messing it up today. 4 times 1.41, and that would be 564. 5 point, technology, please. I wonder if the battery is low. That may do something like that sometimes. what was it again? I already forgot it. 5.64. Okay, 5.64. And the other one would be, because we're doing 4.2, so it'd be 4 times 1.42, 5.68. 5.68. So 5.64 would be less than 4 root 2, which is less than 5.68. This answer here is now even more accurate than this answer up here. Notice I said 5.6 and 6. This is 5.64 and 5.68. Even closer. Okay? So that way I don't have to buy extra material. All right. I hope you got the hang of this. And sorry about those mistakes there, but we all make mistakes. I'm going to make sure that my next one doesn't have as many mistakes. And I hope you don't have any mistakes, especially when you take the test next week. All right. Hey, you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.